In this video, we'll be looking at how you can grade your language so that EAL learners have full access to home learning materials. Grading your language means making the language you use in your class or home learning materials accessible for EAL learners by making it clear and comprehensible. During this time, your learners don't have the opportunity to ask you for clarification, so making sure that you use clear and accessible language in worksheets and when setting instructions should give them the best chance of understanding the task so that they can focus on the content. This is particularly important for Band A learners who are new to English, Band B learners who are at the early acquisition stage, and Band C learners who are at the developing competence stage. In a moment, you will see instructions for a home learning task for science. Read the instructions and decide at least 3 reasons why they might be difficult for a learner who is new to English or at the early acquisition stage of learning. Stop the video now for 30 seconds and start the video to find the answers. The first thing that might be problematic is complex grammar. For example, we have this sentence here at the start. The purpose of the text in green is to point the learner towards the information which is important. However, for EAL learners who are new to English or at the early acquisition stage, this simply provides more language to have to get through to find the actual instructions. Here are other examples of complex grammar in this instruction. To help your EAL learners, you can get rid of any unnecessarily complex syntax and instead use short, concise sentences. You can also use imperatives where you can to keep the instructions clear. So, if we addressed all the complex grammar in the previous instruction, it would look like this. Phrasal verbs are also difficult for lower level EAL learners. A phrasal verb is made up of a verb, for example look, and an adverb or preposition, for example at, up, down, on, under, etc. Sometimes phrasal verbs are made up of more than one preposition or adverb, for example come up with. These can be difficult as one phrasal verb can have several meanings. For example, the phrasal verb take off can mean take off as in take off in an aeroplane, take off a coat, or take off as in to be successful. Idioms can also be difficult for EAL learners, especially those who are new to English. Idioms are phrases or collections of words where the meanings of the words together are different from their individual literal meanings. For example, hang on in there does not mean literally hang on to something like a monkey, it means be patient and keep trying. Other challenging words or phrases might include subject-specific vocabulary, which might be new for all the class, not just EAL learners. This also includes words where meaning is either complex or less frequently occurring, which makes it more difficult to understand. For example, jot down is far less common than write down. There are also fixed phrases such as get in touch with. These are groups of words that naturally come together where the meaning relies on thinking of all the words together rather than individually. Verbs such as get, make, have, take and do can also have many different meanings depending on the context and words which come with them. For example, here get means understand, but if I say I didn't get a good grade, it would mean obtain. It's therefore important to think about not just how an individual word may be difficult to understand, but to look out for challenging chunks of language for your EAL learners. To help your learners, you can use simpler, more common alternatives. Instead of jot down, for example, you can use write down. Instead of can't come up with, you can use don't know, and for get in touch with, you can use phone. Of course, there will be some cases where it's the language of the curriculum that you're trying to teach your learner, so you won't be able to grade this. For example, magnetic poles. In some cases, you may want to omit unnecessarily difficult words or phrases altogether. For example, hang on in there doesn't give us any extra information in this instruction, as we already have don't worry at the beginning of the sentence. For further advice on helping your learners understand more complex subject vocabulary, you might want to watch some of the other Bell Foundation guidance videos, such as the video on pre-teaching, using visuals or use of L1. But please note some of these videos may not yet have been released. So in summary, to grade your language you can use simple, short, concise sentences, use imperatives, omit unnecessarily difficult words or phrases, and think about groups of words, not just individual word meanings. For more information, EAL Nexus has specific resources that provide further guidance for making lessons more accessible for maths and science. For further CPD opportunities, the Bell Foundation also runs regular webinars. To sign up to upcoming webinars and view recordings of previous webinars, the Bell Foundation website, and then go to EAL Programme Training Webinars. You may also be interested in signing up to one of the Bell Foundation online courses, which you can also find on the website. Thank you once again, and please keep up all the great work.